Smiley Morning Show, C.C. Winans, that's my king. Hey, we got the one and only Bishop Joseph Walker, the senior pastor of Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church, Nashville, Tennessee, and the presiding bishop of Full Gospel. Bishop Walker, good morning.
Good morning, Ricky, and good morning to everybody. What a wonderful day it's going to be for you, and I guarantee you, I want to reassure you that God got you covered. I don't care what's happening in your life. You've got to always know that you're not going through it by yourself. You know, the Bible says in Psalm 34 that his angels are encamped around you. And that's what the king does. He makes certain that you are covered on all sides. Ricky, I remember, man, how cars have evolved. There was a time we had to roll our window down and look out the window to make sure nobody was behind us. And then they evolved to the point that we had a camera that was called a rear view mirror camera, where you actually can look at the panel in front of you and see what was behind you. And it would give you a sensor that if something was behind you, to stop. But what made it really awesome was the technology advanced to what's called the 360. That meant that there was a satellite up top that gave you a picture of your entire car. You could see everything happening around it. Something up there gave you a view of everything down here. And the reality is that's what God does. He, from up there, will give you a view of everything that's happening around you. And I began to ask, well, then, God, why is the 360 so important? And guess what I got? It's because the 360 covers your blind spot. And the reality is, while you're going through life, they're going to be the enemy trying to get at you in your blind spot. But God's got angels to cover your blind spots. No weapon was formed against you because of your blind spots were covered. When your enemies came eat up your flesh, they stumbled and fell because God covered your blind spots. Maybe that's what grandmother meant when she said God will keep you from danger seen and unseen. Keep walking towards your victory and know the King's got his eye on you, and know that no matter what comes at you, God got your blind spot covered.
Oh, man, Bishop Walker, that's a good word this morning. We always appreciate you waking up every Monday morning and joining us, giving us that word to get our week started off right. We praise God. And let everybody know how you can be reached and how they could see your sermons. And definitely when you was, what is it? I don't know what to say, crown. The still remaining presiding bishop of Full Gospel. How can we see that video?
Yeah. This is what you do. You go to YouTube and you type in Mount Zion, Nashville. And you can watch any service. Conference message I did there this past week in New Orleans. Or follow me on Instagram at Joseph Walker 3. Follow me at Joseph Walker the number 3, and let me know. Really let me know you were listening to the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
All right, man. Love you, man. Appreciate you.
Love you, too.
Yes, sir. All right, here's some Aretha Franklin right here. What a friend we have in Jesus.
News headlines.
Entertainment.
Sports.
It's the front page on the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
All right, 14 minutes after the hour, y'all front page right here. Maria, good morning.
Good morning, Ricky. The front page is brought to you by T-Mobile. If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. Get the savings you want on America's largest 5G network. Visit T-Mobile.com/choice55 and start saving today. Good morning, RSMS family. Here's what's happening in news. Former President Donald Trump was injured Saturday evening during his rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, in what the FBI says was an assassination attempt in a potential act of domestic terrorism. A gunman and at least one audience member are dead, and 2 other attendees were critically injured. The FBI early Sunday identified the shooter as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. Here's what one of his classmates had to say about him.
I didn't have any interaction with him, but he was like a kid that was always alone. He was always bullied every day. He was just an outcast.
Now, investigators believe the weapon had been purchased by Crook's father at least 6 months ago. Federal agents are still working to understand when and how his son obtained the gun and gather additional information about Crooks as they work to try to identify a motive. Now, attendees at the rally, Ricky, criticized the response to the shooting, saying there was a clear view of the shooter climbing on a roof and making aim for the stage moments before the incident. Multiple video angles of the shooting appear to support there was a slow response by police and the Secret Service. President Joe Biden addressed the nation from the Oval Office on Sunday night, saying the attempted assassination of former President Trump is forcing Americans to take a step back and called on all sides to lower the temperature in our politics. Of course, we'll be continuing to provide updates, and we'll also have a roundtable discussion about the shooting throughout the show today. I'm Maria Moore, and that's a quick look at news. For updates and more headlines, visit RickeySmileyMorningShow.com. Rock T, what you got in sports?
What's up there, Maria, man? Major League Baseball All-Star Break is in full motion right now. This past weekend, they hosted the second annual HBCU Swingman Classic. This is an all-star game for some of the best HBCU college baseball players around the country. My son and I was blessed to be able to be a part of this historical moment, man. It was awesome. Home Run Derby is going down tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. The all-star game will actually be tomorrow night. And yes, Lil Rock and I will be at both of these events, man. Special moment for him and I, man, because as a former baseball player, he loves the sport of baseball. He's doing very well. So proud of that kid. And just being able to share these moments with him is epic. I love it, man. More sports coming up later on in the show. Brigitte Tat, you got the hot spot coming up next.
Yes, I do. And Alec, not Black Baldwin, caught a huge break in his case. Wait till I tell you what happened up next on the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
The hot spot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
You can catch me at the hot spot.
It's the BR18.
All right, 29 minutes after the hour, y'all. Time for the hot spot. What up, Brett?
What up, Ricky? Good morning, everybody. I'm your girl, Brat Tat Tat, and this is the hot spot where we bring you music, movies, and more. So let's get off into it. The movie Despicable Me 4 added another $44.7 million to the top weekend box office, which pushed the film over $200 million. The film Longlegs, a horror mystery about an FBI agent on the trail of a serial killer, opened at $22.6 million. Inside Out 2 secured third place in its fifth weekend of release with $20.8 million and $1.35 billion worldwide. It's also the highest-grossing film in the history of Pixar, the animation house behind classics like Up, The Incredibles, and Toy Story. A Quiet Place Day One came in fourth, earning $11.8 million, and Fly Me to the Moon opened with $10 million. All right, y'all, let's get into these stories. Alec Baldwin's involuntary manslaughter case was dismissed. Y'all heard what I said. It was dismissed. The judge at the court in Santa Fe, New Mexico, said that there had been errors by the prosecution in handling the evidence, which she said impacted the fundamental fairness of the case. Judge Summer dismissed the case with prejudice based on the misconduct of police and prosecutors over the withholding of evidence from the defense. Baldwin cried and embraced his attorneys and then his wife after the decision was announced. He was facing 18 months in prison if convicted.
I think that was the right call, though.
I think that was the right call, too. This man probably has been stressed out. Going back and forth to court. What'd you say, Kay?
And from the time it happened, Alec Baldwin, he truly showed remorse. Like, you could tell that he was really hurt by that.
Yeah.
Because y'all have done, like, movies and stuff like that before, and you could imagine how you would feel.
Oh, my God. If
on the set, if that happened, and you know that you didn't intentionally want to hurt this person.
Exactly.
So, could the prosecutors retry the case?
I don't know. I think it's dismissed. I think that's it.
She
think
said
it's
with
over.
prejudice.
Yeah,
so.
once it's dismissed, it's dismissed.
Yeah. Wow. All right, y'all, moving on. Eminem dissed Diddy on several tracks on his new album, The Death of Slim Shady. Eminem actually dropped Diddy on the track Antichrist, where he referenced the 2016 footage of him assaulting his ex Cassie in a Los Angeles hotel. During the song, he raps, "Next idiot asked me is getting his behind beat worse than Diddy did." Ooh, wow. But on the real, though, she probably ran out of the room with his expletive. On another song, Fuel, Eminem pays tribute to Tupac and the Notorious B.I.G. and hints that Diddy had something to do with their murders. He raps, "R.I.P., rest in peace, Biggie and Pac. Both of y'all should be living, but I ain't trying to beef with him, nope, because he might put a hit on me like Keefy D did him." Diddy's reps have not commented yet on these tracks. Whew, y'all think about that?
Yeah, man.
That's a lot.
I guess that's what we do as rappers. We express ourselves enough. Jesus, Eminem has no fear, I guess, and he's gonna
No
always
filter,
say
no
what he
fear,
feel
yeah.
and no filter. Absolutely. All right, y'all. We're gonna wrap up the hot note right there. But coming up next, we got man laws today. Monday, we got man law Monday. No, we ain't got man law Monday. I was looking forward to that.
I was
Did you
looking
say the
forward
hot
to it
note?
as well.
A hot note? Yeah, because it's the hot spot. That's a hot note. You
Oh, okay.
Short version.
Rock with me, Rick. But anyway, we got
got
the word
you.
of the week with Gary. We're going to learn something new, all right?
Yes.
Coming up next, the time now is 27 minutes before the top of the hour. It's the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
Capital G, capital A, capital O, capital T. BICTH.
John. J-O-B.
It's time for Gary's Word of the Week.
And you know this, man.
All right, 12 minutes before the top of the hour, y'all. We got Gary's Word of the Week. Gary, good morning.
Good morning, Ricky. You know what, Ricky? Before I go with the word, I was in a restaurant the other day, and a lady came up to me and told me she loved the word of the week because it helps her out. So I'm like, well, good. I'm glad somebody's being helped with the word of the week.
Awesome, Gary.
That's great.
Yeah, I thought that was nice too. I'm like, well, good then, honey, because I'm trying here to help. So, but anyway, this week's word is supercilious.
There you go. You saved it. You saved it.
Good. Now, it's an adjective, and it's spelled supercilious, and it describes y'all behaving or looking as though one thinks he is superior to others.
Can somebody Google adjective? I forgot.
What is
Adjective is a word that
Describes.
describes
a noun?
Okay.
a noun. Yeah,
No.
there you go.
Or that describes a noun.
Yeah.
I know a noun is a person, place, or thing.
Right.
That's the only one I really know good.
Yeah, Schoolhouse Rock.
Schoolhouse Rock.
Schoolhouse Rock. That's the one I really know. When you get to them other ones, baby, I'm lost.
Adverbs and all that.
Yes, honey. And
Prepositions.
yes.
The prepositional phrase.
Let's not do it.
We didn't go that far.
You did. You just didn't pay attention.
That's what it was. So I'm going to use y'all this word, supercilious. In a,
Damn, you did. You was doing good.
Doing good.
Yeah. Okay.
What happened?
I know. But what was superciliousalistic?
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
That's when I saw it. I'm like, is that what that means?
No,
But
no,
anyway,
what was that? Was that a word or?
No.
oh, it wasn't a word?
That was in a movie.
That was in Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins, yeah.
Oh.
Let's stay on topic, though.
Okay.
There you
All
go.
right. So here, I'm going to use the word in the center. Gary with the T projects a supercilious attitude toward fellow castmate Special K, even though he's in many ways inferior to the talented and very handsome comedian on many levels. That's a damn lie.
The truth comes out.
You know who wrote that?
Yeah. Jesus.
Got to start previewing them things.
Yeah.
You know.
Jerry, did you proofread this?
Hell no.
All right, so y'all, well, we appreciate that, Gary. Always. One day we'll get it perfect. Y'all give it up for Gary with our word of the day. More Rickey Smiley Morning Show coming up.
Y'all be getting on my nerves. This stuff of the devil bother me. The devil attacking me. It's my ops. It's my ops. The devil ain't bothering you. You ain't doing nothing. You gotta be doing something for the devil to be bothering you. Even he too busy be messing with people that ain't doing nothing. You ain't doing nothing. Then you talking about an op. What's an op? Every opportunity that you got a plate in front of you or to have one in front of you, the buffet your op. The drive-through your op. That house you won't clean up is your op. Them children you ain't do nothing with is your op. Your husband that want to be a stay-at-home dad, that's your op. Them clothes that's been on that bed, that's your op. Them dirty mirrors in your house, that's your op. Y'all want to be bothered so bad, ain't nobody bother nobody that ain't doing nothing. You ain't home. That house is your op. You need to take a bath. That's your op.
Hold it. He's half man, half woman. It's Gary. I wanna hip you to the teeth. It's Gary, baby.
Y'all, the statement's being brought to you by, that's right, y'all, it's right around the corner. Don't miss my birthday beach blowout August the 9th through the 11th at the fabulous Diplomat Hotel. Hey, I need all my Leos in the building. Make sure y'all come out and celebrate your birthday with me and the crew. Listen, all you need is $500 down to reserve your room and get access to all of the events. Make sure you go to RickeySmileyBBB.com. What up, Gary?
Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, America. Good morning to you. It's Monday, a beautiful, beautiful day in the neighborhood. And here's what's happening in celebrity news, y'all. Actor Corey Hardrick, y'all. Everybody knows Corey, honey. He's in the new Tyler Perry movie, Divorce, y'all. It's the New Black. I think that's the title of it. And they're saying, honey, it's a great movie. Well, people ran into him, y'all, this past weekend, honey, for the Essence Festival. And a lot of people say that maybe Tyler, which he did. I read somewhere that said that Tyler Perry has paid him more money he's ever made in any movie he's done. But now they're saying maybe Tyler should pay him a little bit more extra money because it's being reported, y'all, that Mr. Corey, honey, was out promoting the movie and stuff, and some people saying that he was musty. Now they're saying, y'all, that Corey was wearing an old track suit and some church shoes, and they say, honey, they say he was sweating up a storm.
Sometimes it worked out. This heat right here, Gary, we always musty.
Okay, it was so hot in New Orleans, right, Ricky? It was like 112 dang degrees.
I was musty. Brant was musty. Yeah. Judy, my godson was. Everybody was musty. Everybody.
Okay. Well, honey, they say y'all Corey is not just struggling, baby, on film. They say it's in real life. They say he was at Essence with a tracksuit on and some suede dress shoes, and they say, honey, a little musty. But they say, honey, y'all just continue to pray for him, honey. They say, because he's a real good guy, and he took pictures and he was promoting the movie, y'all. So
everybody know how hot it was. Come on now, we got to give him a pass because the deodorant ain't working in this heat.
Yeah, well. And then sometimes those celebrities use that earthy deodorant that doesn't have the thing that deals with the
got
the
no
foam.
aluminum.
Doesn't have aluminum in it.
Right? Yeah. So it's not all the way doing its job.
Well, do that stuff work? That's supposed to keep your whole body smelling good. That little lotion that white lady be doing on that commercial.
I don't think so.
You put it over your whole body. All body odors.
Nah, bro.
You know, okay.
If y'all would start using what I use, damn it, I use Secret. I don't care, honey. It's just strong enough for a man, but made for a woman. But, honey, I still use it, and I don't.
I didn't use Secret before when you done ran out. You had to go get your mama's Secret.
That's right.
That's strong. It'll start a car.
Yeah, honey. So, so we wouldn't be saying that. But nevertheless, let's keep him lifted in prayer, y'all, in there. They give him some deodorant, and, Tyler give him a little extra, honey, for perspiring and wearing that tracksuit and them suede shoes.
That's how you be dressing. What you laughing at?
Oh, no, boo, I don't dress like that.
You do wear tracksuit and dress shoes.
No, I don't.
You go to church with a tuxedo on and some ballet shoes.
Baby doll slippers.
Did we talk about y'all Corey's colleague in the movie, her name is Megan Good, and what Michael Ealy did, and a lot of people still making a big issue about it. But I saw the tape. I mean, he was glad to see his co-workers. They're still talking about Michael Ealy hugging Megan Good, and they say he just ignored Jonathan, honey. Some people saying that was not a good look, but I think he just...
Did they speak prior to? He probably spoke to him prior to. He had to. They said that
the extended version, he did speak to Michael prior.
It had to. And
they probably been knowing each other 20 years, probably.
Yeah, but people still.
I know ain't no way no human being gonna walk over there and hug. He probably spoke to him and dapped it up with him prior to somebody started taping. And then when he saw Megan, she wasn't there. She gave him a big hug because they worked together before. And that's what happened because ain't no way you gonna speak to my girl and then we're gonna take a picture together.
Right. Yeah.
And not speak to me. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure he spoke.
Yeah, I believe that. That's the first thing that came to my mind. That cannot be real.
But then he didn't really have to speak because just in the words like Mariah Carey, I don't know him. So he probably didn't know him.
But out of respect, Gary, they're together.
Yeah, well.
But is there like a protocol for the way that you hug someone that you're not with? I think that the big issue, people were like, he picked her up off the ground and hugged her like.
They're friends. They probably hadn't seen each other in a while. They've been acting together for years.
I mean, I have guy friends that I consider brothers that would probably pick me up off the ground and,
But I'm sure your husband know who they are.
Right, yeah.
You made your husband comfortable enough.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Ray Lewis picked my wife up.
Brett hugged me every morning to pick me up off the ground.
I almost just cussed at you.
Okay. And then my final story, y'all. It's sad, y'all. Let's continue to pray, y'all. I don't know, y'all heard the very sad news. We lost Richard Simmons, y'all, this weekend, honey.
Yeah.
He was
that's y'all founder.
Yes, Lord, honey. Yes, Lord. Yeah, Miss Simmons said you're gonna have a beautiful body. And
the founder of y'all fraternity.
You think they gonna bury him in that little outfit that he wear?
With the short.
He was such a sweet man.
He really was.
Yes, Lord. So let's continue to keep Richard Simmons and all parties lifted up in our prayer.
Hey, you remember that commercial? He had everybody losing weight. That's the beginning of losing weight.
Yeah, that was the first Ozempic. You're gonna have a beautiful body.
We lost Dr. Ruth too.
And you know, Richard Simmons used to play on General Hospital too.
She did?
Yeah.
No, that was Luke.
That was Luke.
That wasn't.
No. Richard Simmons had some episodes on General Hospital. I'll never forget it. I said, wow, he's on General Hospital.
I didn't know.
Google it. It's on there. It's on YouTube.
Yeah. What was he doing? Just acting?
He had a scene with Luke.
Was he himself?
Actually had a scene with Luke, and I think it was something. I can't remember what the scene was, but he was definitely had a reoccurring role on General Hospital.
We got our news person looking at us.
Yeah, no, you're right, Ricky. I should You said
hey, I was raised by my grandmama. I watched them damn stories.
me too, child.
Stories.
Ain't that somehow we called it the stories?
Yep.
Stories. Yes. You remember Ryan's Hope, Ricky?
Oh, yeah. That's where, what's her name, got her start.
Tashina.
That's right.
Yep. I used to want to be her so bad.
Yeah. And the edge of night.
What? Yes, come on now.
And search for tomorrow.
One life to live.
But why in the heat of the night, everybody on every episode, they sweating? It was that hot.
All right, the color today is one of my favorite colors. My color today is dried prune. On the high end, you say dried prune, and on the low end, you say beautiful dark purple. That's your color for today.
Gary, why don't you just say raisin? Y'all give it up for Gary with the T.
Raisin.
All right, y'all. Rickey Smiley Morning Show. I got your wake-up call. Get in me. 866-9-RICKEY. Here we go.
Here we go. Wake up. Wake up. It's time to get yourself together. Because they woke you up this morning. Slid you in your house shoes. Thought we'd be better. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Encourage each other and be productive. The Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Want to know where you calling from. So come on and tell us. And just wake up.
My name is Leroy Laws Jr. I'm calling from Baltimore, Maryland. When you wake up in the morning, face another day, just greet it with a smile. It'll be okay. Wake up.
This is Carson for Lockville, and I want to wake up a new school year. Wake up, wake up, wake up!
Good morning. My name is Phil. I'm calling from beautiful Goulds Park, and I'd just like to say to the people of Goulds, Florida, wake up, wake up, wake up.
Good morning. My name is Neil Williams, calling from Henderson, North Carolina, waking up my son, Michael Drumgo, my golden girl, Cicero Treat Terrell, my man that ain't my man in Miami. Wake up, wake up, wake up!
Whole gang of cities tuned in, locked in. What's yours? Because we gon' let them know. Where you at, Norfolk? Wake up. Where you at? Birmingham? Wake up. Oklahoma? Wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. St. Louisville? Wake up. New Orleans? Wake up. Memphis? Wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up.
I appreciate it, Brett.
You welcome, Ricky.
All right, y'all, the scenes of an attempted assassination was all over the news and social media this weekend. How do you discuss this level of violence with your kids? We're going to be talking to Dr. Tart. Is going to be joining us up next. Rickey Smiley Morning Show. I think one thing that we can all agree on, that violence is never the answer, Maria.
Yeah, that's right, Ricky. And just to recap some of the latest, former President Donald Trump was injured in an apparent assassination attempt on Saturday as he began speaking at a campaign rally in western Pennsylvania. We all saw that viral video online. Now, one bystander was killed and 2 others were seriously injured. Now, it is the first assassination attempt made on a sitting president or presidential candidate since 1981 when Ronald Reagan was shot. The FBI has named 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks, who is now dead, as the shooter.
With all this stuff happening live on TV and then replayed on social media, how do you explain what's going on, to our children? So joining us this morning, we got the one and only Dr. Aldewan Tart. Dr. Tart, good morning. Our children look to us for peace and safety. How do we discuss what happened on Saturday without making them feel like the country is at war? Because we just had a massacre in Birmingham last night. Probably, I think like 5 or 15 people got shot at a club, and I think 3 people was killed, and then 2 more people killed on the other side of town. all within a few hours from each other. It's like, crime is bad everywhere.
Well, one, we have to figure out who we're talking to. All right, so for different ages, it's going to be different responses. So for younger kids, you want to limit their social media. That's why I'm a strong advocate that kids in elementary school just should not have cell phones and social media, right? And so, but for kids that saw this, like teenagers, you actually start where they are. So don't start with a speech. Let them lead the conversation. Ask them what they think about what they saw. Listen to them and let them express concern, and then meet them where they are. So if they start talking about, the country's going X, Y, and Z, as far as civil war or whatever the case may be, then you meet them where they are and assure them that, hey, talk factual. Hey, the FBI is on top of this. Hey, security is going to be heightened. This is unfortunately where we are right now as far as the country is that some people want to promote violence, and violence came back on them. I'm sorry.
I mean, I see my grandkids being rattled like the garage door going up. Like everything just kind of scare them. Like, are they a lot of kids just having natural or social anxiety?
Ricky, that's a great question. All right, because that's what you describe as generalized anxiety. So the anxiety system is like, it looks out for anything that could potentially hurt you. So any noise, any frightening noise. So what you want to do is you actually want to expose your kids and show them that it's safe. The worst thing you want to do is keep your kids inside for avoidance. If we're talking about social anxiety, so get them around other kids, get them outside, allow them to be able to see that, hey, what you saw on social media is not relevant to our household. That's probably the biggest advice. What you saw is not relevant to you. You're not running for president. You're not at political rallies. You're going to summer camp. You're going to summer school. You're going to work. And so we also have to talk to our kids about safety, about staying out of places where there's high violence, clubs, and so on and so forth. So we meet the kids where they are and give them a plan that allows them to feel safe.
Oh, man. What's the appropriate age to be talking to these kids about all of this stuff? And also, what are the long-term mental effects of bullying, on our kids?
All right, so when we start thinking about this, one, you have to find out what your kids know. If your kids don't know anything about what happened with former President Trump, don't tell them. Don't expose them. I would limit their social media for the next week or so and make sure that they're not able to see it. But if they saw it, sit down and talk with them. And if we're talking about, bullying, and that's a whole nother scenario, you sit down and you find out, hey, what's going on, allow them to talk about it, and then being able to address it. Oftentimes parent to parent or with the school. A lot of the worst thing to do is address it with the kid. That is the worst thing to do. The kid that's bullying them, but you do need to make sure that the school is providing a safe environment for them.
Dr. Tartt, you mentioned about limiting our kids from watching news and social media. It's almost impossible. Like, we can try as parents to limit as much as we can, but they're going to see this stuff sooner or later.
Well, you know what? True, but us letting elementary school kids have social media and then an 8-year-old is exposed to TikTok, and this is coming across TikTok with the different memes see on news you'll see it once or twice and you can change the channel. The difference with social media is that now it's all through their feeds. If we look at our feeds this morning, how many images the last night did we see of Trump? 30, 40, 50, 60? Everyone's reporting the same news. So what that's called is vicarious traumatization. It's kind of like what happens in cities where there's violence. Where there's violence next door, violence across the street, violence everywhere. So you start feeling, like Ricky said, that everything could potentially threaten your safety because that is your reality. So we have to remove our kids from that. Now, the teens who've seen it, you're right. I have an 18-year-old. She's going to see it on her own. You talk to her about it and encourage her to, hey, stay off social media for the next couple of days, and then talk to her about what she sees and listen. Our kids will prompt us as to how we need to respond because every kid's going to be different. Some kids are going to brush it off. Other kids are going to be concerned, and that's when you can address what they're concerned about parent by parent.
Hey, Dr. Tartt, we're so happy to have you, and thank you for always jumping on. Let us know how you could be reached.
Hey, just go to my website, drtart.com. That's DRTARTT.com. That's Dr. Tartt, TARTT.com, or follow me on Instagram at Dr. Tart with 2 T's.
There it is. All right, y'all, more Rickey Smiley Morning Show coming up. All right, y'all, Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Hey, chicken and waffle mix going down. 12 minutes before the top of the hour. Y'all lying on the ones and twos. Hey, big shout out to everybody having their class reunion. Hey, what up, Big Woodlawn? Heard y'all did it big. Shout out to had our class reunion, Woodlawn High School. Shout out to Tony Nathan and some of the greats that graduated from Woodlawn High School. Shout out to everybody that's out on vacation, everybody that I met over the weekend. Hey, hope everybody having a great summer. Hey, if y'all ain't doing nothing tonight, I'm going to be at the Miami Improv tonight and tomorrow night. Wednesday night, karaoke night at the Dania Beach Improv. Me, DJ Bear, we're going to have a good time. Benji Brown, we're going to be at the Dania Beach Improv. Y'all know it's going to be sold out. It's going to be packed, so y'all make sure y'all get y'all's tickets. But tonight and tomorrow night, everybody in the Miami area, if you're in Dade, I'll be in Dade County tonight and Broward County Wednesday night. Let's go to the phone. Rickey Smiley Morning Show, do you have a request for a song? Hello.
Yo. Rick.
What up? Let's talk. Let's just have a conversation about the future of giving you an opportunity, because we've been getting a lot of hate mail. You coming back to the morning show. Okay. People say they miss you. People say they love you. I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know what you did, because you never came to work. But what are you willing to do to get back on track?
What I'm doing right now, I'm getting my feet did.
Yep.
You what?
I'm getting my feet did.
Get a pedicure.
Where?
At the feet that play with the Chinese folk.
Well, why it sound like somebody building a house?
They skirt, because I ain't never got my feet did. And they stripping my big toenail right now. Hold on. They stripping out my big toenail on my big toe. They stripping it down because it was real punny.
Put it closer to the phone. Put it closer to the phone where we can hear it.
Hold on, I'm put down though. I'm put down there where you can hear it. Hold on. It feels good too.
Sound like a saw.
And she's scraping off all the dry skin on the bottom of my foot.
Oh, so you ain't never in your life had a pedicure?
No, I ain't. I might have nail pedicure. That new girl on there right now, she classy. She brought me over here. She brought me over here to get my feet did.
Hey, so the fact that you ain't never had a pedicure, you told everybody that you wore a size 13 shoe. Hold
on. Go ahead.
Yeah, what? So you told you was, for all these years, we laughed at you because you said you short and you wear a size 13 shoe. So now that you got a pedicure, what shoe size you really wear?
Believe it or not, I wear 8.5, son.
Wait a minute, that's a lot of dead skin.
What's the farthest you went in school?
I say I went to 8th grade. I started in 8th grade.
Who was the first president of the United States?
First president of the United States. It wasn't Martin Luther King, was it?
Yeah.
Martin Luther King. Okay.
What's the biggest bird in the world?
I think an owl.
Name one book.
What? Somebody just name a book.
Just name any book.
Just name a book or something.
Yeah.
Any kind of book.
Any book, literally, to ever exist.
You're gonna be all right. I can't even get a wild guess. I really just don't know. I just can't.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
What's the biggest planet, literally, in the entire universe?
That's easy. Well, I know it ain't Pluto. I said Mercury.
Mercury, correct. Yep. What happened on 9/11?
I'm lost there.
Who is the president of the United States?
I don't know who that is. John F. Kennedy?
No.
I don't know who the president is.
What about 36 divided by 6?
Ooh, they're going to be 8. Is it 8?
Yeah.
You made me think like, man, I still know some stuff, man.
Hold it. He's half man, half woman. It's Gary. I want to hip you to the T. It's It's Gary, baby.
All right, 6 minutes after the hour, y'all. Gary's Tea is being brought to you by the Rickey Smiley Birthday Beach Blowout, August the 9th through the 11th in Hollywood, Florida, at the Diplomat Beach Resort. 4 Diamond rated by AAA. Relaxation, celebration, inspiration, live music, pool parties, Greek festivities, and much more. All you need is $500 down to reserve your room. Make sure you go to RickySmileyBBB.com. What up, Gary?
Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, America. Good morning to you. It's Monday, a beautiful, beautiful day in the neighborhood. And here's what's happening in celebrity news, y'all. Common is speaking out, y'all, in a recent issue of People magazine, y'all. Common says that he's in a great partnership, honey, and could see Miss Jennifer Hudson as the one, y'all. Yes, he said that out of his mouth. Now they're saying Common and his girlfriend, Miss Jennifer Hudson, are in a perfect harmony. Now, the rapper and actor 52 released his new collaborative album with producer Pete Rock, y'all, The Auditorium, Volume 1, on Friday. And they're saying, y'all, a special someone is featured on the song, y'all. A God there is. And they say Common opens up to people, y'all, in this issue about collaborating with Miss Hudson and reveals, y'all, that it was her special connection to Aretha Franklin, y'all, that got her that job. He said, quote, I loved it because when I played it to musician friends, they were like, oh, who is that singing? He said, I'm like, that's Jennifer. He said, it doesn't sound like things that you've heard from her before. He said, I love that we're able to utilize her gifts in the new space. He said, she brought it, man. He let the world know that baby Miss Hudson brought it. And a lot of people saying, no, they out there, honey, that, you know, the song that Jennifer sang, like it was a song that was sung by Aretha Franklin. In fact, they said it was Ashford and Simpson's, Valerie Simpson, who evidently do it. But some people saying that he's saying that Jennifer could be the one. Jennifer may be thinking she's going to get a ring sometime soon. But I feel so sorry for Jennifer because her name was Erykah Badu. Then there was Angela Rise. And then there was Serena Williams. And they were all the one, too. And none of them was the one. But anyway, hopefully, you know, he and Jennifer, you know, get together and they get married, you know. Because they say, they got a new song called Chi-Town Do It. And they said, you know, he's rapping and stuff, you know, with them both from Chicago. They're saying some of the lyrics on the song say, that got a ring to it, you have it, I theme it, and all this other mess. But just because they put that got a ring to it, that don't mean he giving her no ring, honey, because she got to wait a little while. You know, they say he was playing a little car and stuff about those lyrics and whatever, but they don't even like a couple of me. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, he's been in all of those relationships, so he probably is pretty clear on what he wants and doesn't want in a relationship. I guess that could be the benefit from those failed relationships. He has that experience. So I could see him, maybe she being the one and they finally settling down.
Gary.
Why not?
Yeah, Ricky.
You ever thought about all the relationships he been in and then they have to go on Jennifer Hudson's show to do interviews about their projects? And how awkward would that be?
That would be very awkward. But first of all, I'm sure Miss Hudson would know before they came on who's going to come on her show. And I'm sure she'll just scratch those out and have those girls make no appearances and stuff like that. But they just don't look like a couple. Jennifer Hudson don't look like Common's type. Out of all the women I just named, they different type of women.
I agree with that. I do agree with that.
Jennifer just seemed more, just a little more basic. These girls kind of look like they have a little spice.
But sometimes that be the one that you lock it down with, the one that, you know, is not your type, so to speak.
So that's where opposites attract come in there?
Yeah,
but
the spicy ones didn't work out for him. So, you know.
I mean, it worked out for what they needed to work out for.
Yeah, but Miss Hudson is a bigger star. You know, when men start getting with bigger stars, honey, they start getting a little intimidated and start kind of backing down, honey, especially men of African descent. So I don't think that don't work.
African descent.
so I don't think. We don't see that. But congratulations to him, honey, and Jennifer and her man. All right, moving on in other celebrity news, y'all. Oh, my God, y'all. Dwayne Wade is speaking out. He's saying this is bigger than us. They're saying how Dwayne Wade went from being Zaya's supportive dad to a vocal trans advocate, y'all. Now, they're saying when Zaya Wade, honey, first came out as transgender to her daddy, former NBA star and Hall of Famer Dwayne Wade, they're saying the older Wade, he didn't immediately think about being an advocate. So instead, they say he thought about her safety. Now they're saying he said, quote, not only is my child in one of the most attacked communities in the world, the trans community and the LGBTQ plus community, he said, but also my child is black in America. He said, that's right. There alone is enough, honey, for a parent. But nevertheless, they're saying in the years since, Dwayne Wade, y'all, has become one of the single most vocal celebrities when it comes to advocating for trans rights. Now, they're saying together with his beautiful wife, actress Gabrielle Union, Wade has set an example for how best to show up, y'all, for and be an ally to the queer and trans community, whether by celebrating his daughter in interviews, calling out anti-LGBTQ plus legislation and transphobic ridicule in public speeches. Created impactful initiatives, y'all, through the Wade Family Foundation. Y'all are partnering with Netflix on a documentary, y'all, about the many ways fathers can express their love and support to their trans children, y'all. Isn't that beautiful?
It is beautiful.
Mm-hmm. That is so beautiful, y'all. He's doing it. Hello?
Go ahead. I don't have nothing to say.
Okay, don't say nothing.
Tell Rock T to stop texting me while we on the air.
Hey, dog.
Sitting up there talking about he trying to get him in the WNBA.
That wasn't me, dog.
You a lie?
No, dog. Oh, man. I think that would be... Keep on going.
Says LeBron got Bronny in the NBA.
Keep going, Gary.
Well, with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese.
Well, if that's the case, Magic is good. What's her name? It's EJ.
EJ?
Boy,
Magic,
forward.
I would
Boy,
love,
Magic had EJ.
I would love to see EJ on that court, boy.
EJ about 6'7", ain't he?
Come on,
yeah.
Yes, sir.
Come on, go up that lane.
I swear to God, I was trying not to say that. I got so tired.
Well, we're going to pray for all parties. Hopefully that would be interesting.
That would be cute.
Yeah. The color today. The color today is dried prunes. On the high end, you say dried prunes. And on the low end, you say beautiful dark purple. That's the color for today. We're done with that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ricky?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
That boy.
Trying to cover trying to cover it all.
The Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
It's the front page news.
It's what's trending now.
All right, y'all, Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Joining us live from the NAACP National Convention in Las Vegas. Y'all, please welcome Gerald Griggs, the president of the Atlanta chapter of the NAACP. Gerald, good morning.
Good morning, Ricky. How you doing, brother?
Man, good, man. Happy to have you. I'm excited about the NAACP convention. I'm going to be in Vegas as well. I'm going to make sure that I stop by. Listen, what do you think of everything? Just give me because we usually text. Give me an overall view of what you think is happening and that will happen and how it will affect the election. Where do we start? Because that's a lot.
It's a lot going on. We're in a historic time, Ricky, for all the right reasons and all the wrong reasons. Here at the NAACP convention, we opened up last night. The chairman gave a rousing charge to the NAACP that we are all in, and we're all in for voting. But considering what happened this weekend to former President Trump and what's been happening in our political discourse, we have to tone the tenor down. We have to make sure that political violence has no place in our democracy. And so here at the NAACP National Convention, 115th National Convention, it's exciting to see so many people together from around the country. But we have one resolve, and that's to make sure our country understands that at this historic juncture, the NAACP will stand on the front lines and protect our democracy. So what we want to reiterate in our national discourse, it's okay to disagree, but it's not okay to resort to violence. So that is the message that's coming out loud and clear. And again, yesterday was the first day, the opening plenary session, the opening of all the seminars, and today we'll get to the work of the NAACP. So as much as I'm watching the nation descend into a historical time that I've never prepared for, I'm heartened by the work of the NAACP and the message that's coming from our leadership.
I had to add. Go ahead, Kay.
Attorney, hey, Attorney Griggs. First of all, congratulations on the new baby as well.
Thank you, brother.
Congratulations.
Also, now NAACP, as far as helping to further people's education about things like Project 2025 and, with this upcoming election and keeping our people informed on what's going on, are y'all involved in helping to do that in any kind of way?
Absolutely. We are making sure that everyone is apprised of everything that's in the 922 pages of that Project 2025. And so we had the chairman of the Congressional Black Caucus last night come and make sure we fully understand everything. I've read almost 500 pages of the 925 pages, and again, it's some scary stuff. Getting rid of the Department of Education, reorganizing the Department of Justice, eliminating the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Just a few of the things that are going on. This will radically reform our executive branch and give complete control to the executive. So everyone needs to make sure they take time out to read Project 2025. You can't read all of it. Read about the DOJ and read about the Department of Education. That should be enough to tell you that this is something that requires our attention, and it's imperative that we are all in to make sure we vote to make sure that does not happen.
Gerald, who came up with that?
The Heritage Foundation came up with it, and so it's been advisors that are in that think tank. Many of them are associated with one of the candidates, and so it is a policy proposal that will be implemented by the next conservative president.
Now, good morning, Gerald. This is Maria Moore. We want to thank you for taking the time to speak with us this morning, considering all the work you're doing on the West Coast right now. The country is very polarized right now, and I just want to know your opinion. Do you think there is, what is a profile of an undecided voter? And do you think the shooting incident could sway voters at the polls in any way?
Well, I truly don't believe there are any more undecided voters, especially after what happened on Saturday. But I think the profile of an undecided voter is somebody who's not been paying attention to the discourse in our country, has not been paying attention to what's happening at the Supreme Court, has not been paying attention about what is coming. And so my hope is that people who are undecided will now tune in to understand that we're not just being hyperbolic in saying this is the most important election of our lifetime. We have literally seen the stripping away of our rights in real time, whether that's the attempt to end affirmative action, the attempt to take away voting rights, the attempt to erase Black history, the successful attempt to limit women's reproductive rights. These are things that are happening in real time. And if it hasn't affected you yet, it will affect you. That's why, in the words of our chairman, if you don't do politics, politics certainly will start doing you.
Hey, is it a reason on MSNBC they took? Haven't seen Joy Reid and Rachel Maddow Morning Joe's not on.
I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why we're not hearing from them, but it's incumbent upon us as the leaders in our community to speak truth to power and to be intentional in educating our community. So I don't know why we haven't heard from them yet. Hopefully,
they haven't had Reverend Al on. They haven't played Simone, the show that Simone does.
Simone Sanders, yeah.
Simone, yeah. What's going on?
Well, we do have to understand these news networks are owned by corporations that are owned by individuals that have agendas.
Yeah. Well, I think that's why it's important for your platform and others that we speak on our platforms, even if they're trying to reverse things that are happening on other platforms. I was concerned about a report from CNN that they're getting rid of the racial and diversity section over at CNN. So I'm not, going to, be dedicated to one news agency. We need to create our own news. We need to return back to the time we had Black media being at the forefront to address Black issues, and that's one of the things we're focused on here at the NAACP.
Attorney Griggs, I just want you to give a quick message to those folks who are saying, I'm going to sit this one out.
Right.
Can you talk about how important it is for turnout in this upcoming presidential election?
Turnout is pivotal. That's why we're all in, and we cannot afford to sit this one out. If we sit this one out, the next 50 years will be shaped by at least two new Supreme Court picks. And if you haven't been watching the Supreme Court, if you haven't been seeing the decisions, especially the presidential immunity decision, you need to understand that this will affect you. They overruled the Chevron decision, which was precedent upon precedent, that no longer will government agencies be given that deference to make decisions where they have expertise. They have given the president, the current president of the United States, and any future president of the United States immunity from criminal prosecution. These are things that should worry you. We've never seen anything like this, and I don't take that lightly. We are in a new civil rights era, and you cannot sit this out. So it's imperative, especially throughout the South, that we get every single registered voter to the polls on November the 5th to make the right decision.
Attorney Griggs, we really appreciate you coming on. Let everybody know how you could be reached.
I can be reached on all social platforms at Attorney Griggs on all social platforms, or you can also reach us at the website, which is www.georgianaacp.org. Or if you want to watch the convention, go to the NAACP.org or watch us on YouTube. It will be streamed live.
All right, there it is. Hey, man, appreciate you, man. We love you. It's Rickey Smiley Morning Show. All right, so Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Jeff Johnson got 3 things you need to know. Jeff, good morning.
What up, brother? How you feeling?
Hey, man, happy to have you this morning, man. I know it's been a news-heavy weekend, and I know you got some awesome perspective. I should have texted you this weekend.
Man, listen, and I know y'all talked a lot about it this morning already. And as Milwaukee, and what's funny to me is I when I think about Milwaukee being the site of the RNC, it's interesting to me because Milwaukee to me is such a black city. And anybody that knows the Midwest knows Milwaukee is a crazy black city. And so for the RNC to be there is culturally really interesting. I mean, it's almost like, to me, reminds me of when the RNC was in Cleveland 2 cycles ago. Actually, when Trump first got the nomination. So that's interesting. But I've been listening to all of this stuff, and we know coming out of the RNC, he is going to choose his vice presidential candidate, his vice presidential nominee. And it's almost like I don't know if it matters who it is. But, Kay, I know you follow this stuff. As you've been thinking about it, who do you think he's going to choose?
I want to say J.D. Vance, but he has,
the guy out of Ohio?
Yeah, J.D. Vance has so many negatives that it's almost likely that that's who he would pick because he's the most articulate yet as equally as hateful. But I'm thinking he's the leading contender.
I feel like he's going to go with Rubio.
Why you feel like that, Jeff?
Well, because I think that Rubio has been consistent with him. That he's Florida, that he wants Florida. I think that he feels like he might have more challenges in Florida than he does in Ohio. But I don't know. I mean, with Trump, you never know which way he's going to go. I mean, I don't know who I think is scarier. It's scary when you think about Trump having a vice president where you really don't want him to get shot. It's like, because it might be worse. So I don't know, but it's going to be interesting to see coming out of this. And I think we all know that there's still continued conversation. There's so many meetings happening. I thought it was interesting. Senator Cory Booker was on air on CNN yesterday, and they were asking him, did he feel like the president should step down and make room for a candidate that they think could create greater excitement? And Cory Booker said, I'm keeping that to myself. I'm having these conversations behind closed doors, and I'm not going to have what my opinion is be used at this point in any way, one way or another. And I actually thought it was a smart thing to do. But I know that ultimately President Biden is going to, he's going to say, I'm here. I'm the president. I believe I can do this. And so, and I think we talked about the fact that the Democrats actually have to ensure who the nominee is before the convention, because the convention is in a place where it's after some states certify who's on the ballot. So if who they name is not submitted to several states before the convention, you have a situation where you could have, if it wasn't President Biden, you may not have that person on the ballot. So there's some procedural issues at play, which create an even more interesting timeline. But before I get out of here, switching from politics, I want to talk really briefly about, we have seen just recently 2 more HBCU presidents that have announced that they are leaving, and to have Morehouse and FAMU, which are 2 of the largest HBCUs and premier HBCUs have presidents leaving, it bears the question. I mean, we've seen an incredible rise in the departure of HBCU presidents. And Rick, I think there's three real issues. I think, one, you have a lot of leaders that have problems with battles with the board of directors. Some of our HBCUs, like many institutions, don't have great boards of directors, and we can lie about it if we want to, but it's the truth. And I'm not saying which ones. I think there's some that have great boards. I think there's some that have terrible boards. But many of the challenges are battles between the board and the president. The second is the demands of being president at HBCU are, I think, often higher than that of a PWI. You've got multiple challenges in raising funds. You have the challenge of leveling up the relevancy of the institution and why it's valuable and where it's valuable. In many cases, you're dealing with land issues, and in some cases, when you think about what the demands are on HBCU presidents, sometimes it's a question of why do this here when I can do it somewhere else. And then last but not least is financial restraints and resources. And many of our HBCUs are challenged, and so. It's tough, man, and if we want to see continuity, we got to support our institutions in a higher level, whether we went there or not. I don't think sometimes, Rick, it's a question of are we alumni? It's a question of do we want our legacy institutions to continue? All right, Jeff, let us know how you can be reached. At Jess Nation on IG. Love y'all. Have a fantastic Monday. Talk to y'all on Thursday. Love you, Jeff. All right. Hey, listen, joining us this morning is our good friend and CNN political analyst and attorney, Bakari Sellers. Bakari, good morning, man. Happy to have you. Hey, Bakari, so, we all saw what happened to Donald Trump and then him refusing to leave the stage before showing supporters, as he clenched his fists and telling them to fight. How do you think this will change the direction of the election?
Well, first, I have to say, thank God Donald Trump is still alive. I mean, we were, as a country, probably an inch away from going through something that I'm not sure this country can necessarily withstand. And so, my prayers go out particularly to the young man who lost his life in Pennsylvania. You shouldn't lose your life at a political rally. And the other individuals who were injured, as well as shout out to the law enforcement officers who, as we're still learning about it, at least Secret Service attempted to get Donald Trump off stage pretty quickly and did their job after those shots were fired. So that's where I want to start. To answer your question directly, I don't think it's going to change much. You'll have this period of condolences and sympathy for Donald Trump, but at the end of the day, Democrats still have to prosecute the case. And, you saw Joe Biden last night be consoler in chief and try to bring this country together during this moment. We're still in the middle of an election, and you have a choice. And, although Donald Trump has gone through something very traumatic, the future of this country under the leadership of Donald Trump looks very different than the future of this country under the leadership of Joe Biden. And, that threat to democracy that Donald Trump poses still exists. And so I don't think it changes much. People will be more resolved and maybe his base will be more excited. But this is still a really close election.
Bakari, I'd like to get your thoughts on a couple of things. The narrative seems to have been shifted over the last 48 hours that the Democrats, and led by Joe Biden, that the Democrats need to, quote, change the tone of the rhetoric that's out there about the danger of a second Donald Trump administration and talk about authoritarian rule and all that kind of stuff. The message has been switched, being as the Democrats have always been the ones to not talk about political violence and things like that.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's nobody I know who condones political violence. I certainly do not. I mean, we've seen how devastating it could be from, King to RFK. I mean, we don't even have to go back that far. We can talk about Gabby Giffords. We can talk about Steve Scalise. And just recently, I mean, let's not forget, that's what frustrates me with the J.D. Vances of the world, with the Tim Scotts of the world, because we can't forget that just recently there was a plot to kidnap the governor of Michigan, right? Just recently, Nancy Pelosi's husband got bludgeoned in his own home with a hammer. And the reaction to that from the president, who, thank God, is still alive, was to mock Mr. Pelosi. The reaction from Donald Trump Jr. was to post a picture of a hammer and underwear on his Twitter account. And so, I'm not someone who believes, and I think that this is something that needs to be, fought at the ballot box. I want to be extremely clear. This is about voting this man out of office, not anything else, nothing more. But the authoritarianism, Project 2025, if you read Project 2025, you're talking about making sure that women just stay at home in the kitchen and men go out to work, eliminating the Department of Education, bringing back stop and frisk nationwide, giving police officers absolute immunity. So, yeah, I'm going to still talk about the threat to democracy and the threat to every fabric of our being that Donald Trump poses. But I'm also nuanced enough to know that I'm not asking for political violence.
Wow. Bakari, do you think it's going to change? Have anybody came out with any polls? I know it's going to gin up Donald Trump's base. How do the Democrats effectively prosecute the case for Joe Biden?
So, look, I know a couple of things happened. Joe Biden and so did the DNC and so did the RNC and Trump campaign during this time of healing. They pulled down their ads. And that's going to change. Joe Biden, is actually going to resume campaigning this week at the NAACP convention in Las Vegas. He did, not do his campaign event in Texas on civil rights, but he's going to reschedule that. But the polls, the interesting thing about it is we were still talking about, Joe Biden's age, et cetera, et cetera. And I was telling everybody just to chill out and stop bedwetting and clutching your pearls, because the polls that were coming out before this incident occurred that were in the field showed that this race was a 2-point race within the margin of error in 6 of the 7 swing states. And let me just tell you something, Ricky. Those polls had Donald Trump getting 20% of the black vote and 45% of the Hispanic vote. And if anybody believes any of that to be true, that he's getting 20% of the black vote or 45% of the Hispanic vote, I really want to sell you this bridge in Brooklyn. So that ain't happening. And so this race is extremely close, one that President Joe Biden can win. We just have to get back to that. Sympathy votes aren't really a thing in this country, and so I don't think sympathy is going to weigh in from an incident that occurred in July with what's going to happen in November.
Now, Bakari, for those voters who are in the middle that you feel like maybe can be swayed left or right, what do you think are going to be like the key indicators for either Biden or Trump to secure that vote?
That's a good question. I think a lot of people are going to tune in Thursday night to hear what Donald Trump says, because he's apparently supposed to be turning the page. Somebody gets shot in the face, it changes a man. I'm not sold on that. I'm maybe jaded by reality, but I know politics pretty well, and I've known Donald Trump to be very divisive since he came onto the scene. So I'm not expecting much. He may give a better speech Thursday, but I do anticipate things to get back to normal pretty quickly. Just in the weeds for 1 second, Joe Biden does something that most Democrats aren't able to do, which is he gets over 40% of white voters, which means that we got to do our job in our communities. If we come out, if we register, if we come out the way we're supposed to in North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, then we can hold off the threat to democracy that Donald Trump is. I have more urgency in this election than I've ever had in my life.
Wow.
And maybe it's because I'm a father, or maybe it's because I turned 40 this year. I don't know. But I am afraid of what this country will be under 4 more years of Donald Trump. And I say that still praying for this man, and thank God that he's alive, and thank God that his life wasn't taken. I don't know. Maybe I'm just prayerful and understand how politics work, but I'm glad he's alive, but I also do not want him to be president of the United States again.
Yeah, absolutely. And if he would have died, people don't even know what the backlash from something like that happening, how many people, or just what would happen, behind that. I already think it's going to be a backlash, even with just this, happening right here. Bakari, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Let everybody know how they can follow you.
Yeah, definitely. Make sure you go pick up my new book, The Moment, which came out in April. Follow me on Instagram at Bakari Sellers, and on Twitter, or whatever that thing's called that Elon Musk has destroyed, at Bakari_Sellers.
There it is. Y'all give it up for Bakari Sellers. Rickey Smiley Morning Show coming up.
News headlines,
entertainment, sports. It's the front page on the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
All right, y'all. Rickey Smiley Morning Show, 26 minutes after the hour. Y'all front page right here. Maria, good morning.
Good morning, Ricky. The front page is brought to you by the Capital One Venture Card. Earn unlimited 2x miles on every purchase. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details. Good morning, RSMS family. Here's what's happening in news. We've been discussing this a lot this morning. Former President Donald Trump was injured Saturday evening during his rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, in what the FBI says was an assassination attempt and a potential act of domestic terrorism. A gunman and at least one audience member are dead and 2 other attendees are critically injured. The FBI early Sunday identified the shooter as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. Now, despite the shooting, the RNC will continue as planned, kicking off today in Milwaukee, where Donald Trump will be confirmed as a Republican candidate for president. And if you missed any of the discussions this morning, you can check out a recap on the Rickey Smiley Morning Show podcast. In other news, Ricky, big changes in leadership will be happening at 2 prominent HBCUs. Morehouse College President David Thomas announced that he will retire next year, saying it is time for new leadership at the all-male, historically black school he has led since 2018. At my school in Tallahassee, Florida A&M University President Larry Robinson resigned Friday after weeks of scrutiny over a botched $237 million donation announced at spring commencement. Robinson did not cite a reason for his decision to step down. Lastly, a Washington state man flipped his car while trying to grab a sandwich he dropped inside his vehicle. Ooh. When he reached down to grab the sandwich, he ran his car into a light pole, which caused his vehicle to flip. Officers said the man suffered.
Man. What kind of sandwich that you can't drop where you going to probably flip your car with?
Well, it had to be that honey maple turkey with some provolone cheese.
From where?
Subway. Hey, man. Maybe Jersey Mike's. Nah, Jersey Mike's, I'll flip my car for a Jersey Mike's. I ain't going to lie. That Jersey Mike Club, that number 8. I'll flip my car for that.
Not
ham,
burger,
turkey,
not
and bacon.
Whopper Jr. with cheese.
Okay.
I don't know that original chicken sandwich with cheese and add pickles and mayo with a little lettuce. I might flip my car for that one.
What about nothing out of McDonald's? Anything out of McDonald's you flip your car?
Mickey D's. Now I ain't gonna lie. Now Mickey D's. Yeah. That quarter pounder with cheese, fresh and hot,
with the French
with
fries
that cheese melted
and the high C orange.
You put 5 or 6 fries on top of that burger. Come on now. I flip my car for that one. Mickey D's old school. There ain't nothing to play with now. They come with it.
All right, thank you for that, Maria.
You're welcome, Ricky. Rock T, what's going on in sports?
What up, Maria? Hey, man, Major League Baseball All-Star break is going down right about now. This past weekend, they hosted the 2nd annual HBCU Swingman Classic, which is an all-star game for some of the best HBCU college baseball players. My son and I were out there, blessed to be able to be a part of this historical moment, so it was off the chain. Home run derbies tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and the all-star game will be tomorrow night. I got a quick Bronny James Summer League update for everybody. Now, he's played 3 games. What you laughing for, dog?
I'm thinking about that. You know what I'm thinking about. Go ahead, man.
All right, so Bronny James has played 3 Summer League games so far. He scored a total of 15 points within the 3 games. He's 6 for 26 field goal. 0 for 12 from the three-point line. Defense is pretty solid. So it's still early, man. Don't expect Bronny to be in the NBA going off next year. You know, he's probably going to be in the G League so he can continue to improve and continue, get his feet up under him. You know, it is what it is. So that's my quick Bronny James update for everybody.
WNBA is calling his name right now.
Would you say?
WNBA.
Say, man.
WNBA.
Be easy on Bronny, dog. Be easy on him, man. He just
give him a break.
Yeah, bro. I mean, just a year and a half ago, he had cardiac arrest with his heart. So
does he have it now?
Give him time. Give him time. Tap the brakes. It's a little early.
WNBA also calling. No, go ahead.
Say it, dog.
Go ahead, Mike.
Brett, you got the hot spot.
The hot spot.
Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
So hot and that's hot. You can catch me at the hot spot. It's the BR18.
All right, it's the bottom of the hour. It is time for the hot spot. What up, Brett?
What up, Ricky? Good morning, everybody. I'm your girl, Brat Tat Tat, and this is the hot spot where we bring you music, movies, and more. So let's get off into it. Wiz Khalifa was charged with illegal drug possession after using marijuana while performing at a Beach Please festival in Romania Saturday night. It was reported that he possessed over 18 grams of cannabis and consumed another amount of cannabis in cigarette-shaped objects. Wiz and other people were taken in for questioning early Sunday. Though Wiz Khalifa was charged, he was released from custody. Possession of marijuana in Romania can be punishable by up to 10 years in prison. Following the incident, Khalifa took the X to say he did not mean any disrespect to the country of Romania by lighting up on stage. They were very respectful and let me go. I'll be back soon, but without a big joint next time. So that's a good attitude to have, and I'm glad they let him go because, you know, Wiz Khalifa has dispensaries and all kinds of stuff. He makes a lot of money from it. So I guess, you know, he thought you could just...
I don't know. How you know when you go to these foreign countries, they not like the U.S.?
Well, if it's a concert and you're on the bill, it's almost like you would think they know who they booked. And they see him perform all the time, and he blazes up all the time just like Snoop.
I ain't finna play in them foreign countries.
Well, I hear you. All right, y'all, moving on. Let me let y'all know about Alec Baldwin's involuntary manslaughter case. It was dismissed. The judge at the court in Santa Fe, New Mexico, said that there have been errors by the prosecution in handling of evidence, which said impacted the fundamental fairness of the case. Judge Summer dismissed the case with prejudice based on misconduct of police and prosecutors over withholding evidence from the defense. Baldwin cried and embraced his attorneys and then his wife after the decision was announced. Baldwin faced 18 months in prison if convicted, so I know he's very glad, and congratulations to him for finally being able to put this behind him. And last but not least, LL Cool J has shared his upcoming album, The Force, and it will feature guest appearances from Eminem, Nas, Busta Rhymes, Rick Ross, Snoop Dogg, and more. The Force is LL Cool J's 14th studio album and his first in 11 years, y'all. So congratulations to him. It'll be released on September 6th. He also shared a new single called Passion, and I can't wait to hear it. All right, y'all, we're going to wrap up the hot spot on that note, but coming up next, we got the Praise Mix Down with the White Stone. The time now is 27 minutes before the top of the hour. It's the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.